Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of me completing my WGU computer science degree. So it's been 3 weeks, and so far there's been a lot of new progress that has been going on in my degree. And I guess the first thing that I can start off with is how the exams have been um, in the 3 courses that I've been taking so far. So I took Introduction to IT, Web Development Foundations, and Project Management, and I've sort of taken all the final exams for them, and I've passed. So that's good news. And what I want to say is that the exams themselves are very similar to what the practice questions or the practice tests are for each of those courses. So the practice tests are structured where you have about 4 multiple choice answers per multiple choice question, and the number of multiple choice questions that can appear on the final exam, it ranges from between 30 and 90. So right now I've had 2 of them at 90 multiple choice questions, and they give you about almost 2 hours to complete the exam. And then the one exam where I only had 30 multiple choice questions, they only actually gave me 30 minutes to complete it. So I guess each course has a different sort of final exam structure. Now, there are 4 answers per multiple choice question, and what's really good about that is that they don't really try and like trip you up for each answer. So by trip you up, I mean they don't say like, they give you 4 multiple choice answers, but it's like it's none of the above as one of the answers, or it's all of the above, or it's only A and B. I think that the questions themselves on the final exams, they are a little bit more complexly worded than the practice tests. What I mean by that is that it, the questions themselves are worded in such a way that they give you an extra, 2 sentences of additional information that aren't really 100% correlated to the actual question that's being asked. Instead, the additional information is kind of there to maybe like trip you up and answer like another multiple choice answer. And while going through these final exams, I've had to sort of read like the question like sometimes 3 times because I feel like there's just it gives you a lot of excess information, but the tricky part is to like choose the actual information that's relevant to what the question's asking. And yeah, I think that the material's fair. The online WGU course material, um, it can basically prepare me. It prepared me about 95%, like completely for the final exam. And the final exam has maybe like a couple questions that are like, they ask material that's so specific to maybe the textbook that it's based on that WGU or the U certified material doesn't actually cover on it. But there's so many other questions there that are very easy to answer that are like, oh, what is the definition of this word? Or like, here's a given scenario that is like very similar to like this vocab word. Enough answers are out there where passing it is fairly easy. So that's sort of my discussion on how the final exams are structured. And yeah, I think that's like the most important thing to like know for WGU because that's how you get your credits. Um, and the other thing that I want to talk about is how it's been pacing wise for WGU. So for these first 3 courses that I've gone through, I've had the experience of sort of sprinting through each module and each unit, and I feel that that sort of sprint has helped me get familiar with the material in a very short amount of time possible. Now that we're sort of ending February, I'm going to be sort of shifting my approach of WGU to more of like a marathon pace, where rather than trying to knock out the final exam as quickly as possible, what I'll be really trying to do is maybe knocking out and memorizing and going through each unit uh, probably at a pace of like 2 units to maybe 2.5 units every single day. There's about 10 units per course, so what that'll do is that'll basically set up like 4 to 5 days of memorizing the material, then maybe one day reserved for going through the practice tests, and then finally one day to go through all the material one last time and just double check on, areas or modules that I might be weak on. So I think that'll be sort of like the marathon approach, where maybe about once every week or once every half a week, I'll be comfortable going through each course and have other time reserved throughout my day to maybe go to the gym or do some sort of meal prepping for the week, and there will be sort of a good balance between all those sort of areas of life. And yeah, um, and that's pretty much all that I have to talk about for these past 3 weeks. Um, I hope I did sort of a good job in explaining how the sort of material is structured and how the sort of final exam is sort of like. And maybe when we sort of get to like the quantitative courses, there'll be some sort of new structures in the material that I'll be able to talk more about. My next video will probably be 2 or 3 weeks from now, and I'll be focusing on network and security foundations, and should probably have that maybe completed in the next couple days.